Forecast. It was a beautiful day, very, very hot. It was definitely a good day to take your dog out because we had no rain. Is it going to be like that for tomorrow for us?
Pretty much, almost copy and paste, hotter than average, and we'll see that weather continue into a good chunk of next week, but it also comes with a return of a few isolated showers. But overall, the outlook is still looking very dry, just as it has been here this past about week or two. Yeah, we've had sort of a dry stretch of weather with all this tropic stuff. Seems a bit counterintuitive, but hey, we're reaching the end of summer, and it's still feeling like it, that's for sure. 95 degrees, that was our afternoon high at GSP today, and the mountains it was 86 for you, so impressive numbers. 79 degrees is the normal high in the mountains, so definitely heading toward fall. As temperatures sit now in the 70s, pair of 7s in both Spartanburg and Union, 81 still in downtown Greenville, with some 60s starting to show up in western North Carolina. Looking at satellite and radar, we have just a few very thin clouds, but overall it's mostly clear. And if we take a broader view of the southeast, we've got high pressure overhead, and that's producing some very quiet, dry weather. So after Dorian, things have really shaped up, which really tends to help things on the coast, help evaporate that water that might still be standing in places like the Grand Strand and Charleston. 66 will do it for the overnight low temperature in the upstate tonight. 64 you in the mountains, and Sunday almost copy and paste, maybe a couple 3 degrees cooler than we were today. 91 degrees for your afternoon high in the upstate. Start the day decently cool too, so early church services should be good to go. 86 degrees your high temperature once again in the mountains. So with all of that given, still a little bit too hot for this time of year to rate it a perfect 10. So for those reasons, we're going to keep it modest at a 9 out of 10. So either way, not a bad way to close out the weekend after Labor Day. Looking at the tropics tracker, here's what's left of now post-tropical cyclone Dorian. As you heard before, it made landfall in Canada, just off the coast of Nova Scotia earlier today. We still have tropical storm Gabrielle, still a pretty steady tropical storm, still not forecast to impact any land whatsoever. Might make some flights turbulent and maybe some shipping routes a little bit rocky on the seas, but in terms of land masses, nothing. We also have a 20% chance of tropical development with this little disturbance a few miles northeast of Puerto Rico. So not a great chance, but we're keeping an eye on it. We're also keeping an eye on this guy. It's got a little better chance of development here over the next few days. Probably wouldn't be tomorrow, but safe bet next week we might have a tropical depression on our hands, but at this point it is not an immediate threat to really any land masses. So just to recap where we are on the 2019 hurricane season, we've used up 7 names. So yep, a busy time, and that makes sense. Right on cue for the peak of hurricane season. Umberto, Imelda, and Jerry are the next 3 names to show up, if of course they happen. So September 11th, that's usually about the peak of hurricane season. So we've seen that very typical historic rise in tropical activity during the month of August, right on cue with Dorian. And the thought is usually that that activity will gradually go down throughout the month of September, but you have to remember the NHC, they updated that outlook for the season, the rest of the season anyway, to have it be a little bit more active for the second half of the season compared to the first half, simply because El Nino weakening in the equatorial Pacific Ocean. So we'll have to see how that behaves. We might see a little bit more of an active September and October, but we'll have to see. Sometimes those El Ninos take a while to transition, so we'll have to wait and see how the tropics respond to that gradual weakening of El Nino. So that remains to be seen. Always remain aware till November 30th as those tropics close out the season then. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. As I said, there are not really big chances for rain at all. We're just looking at isolated shower chances at best in the upstate. We keep it in the low 90s for the first half of next week, and then we'll gradually back that off, really not till the end of the week into next weekend. There's some middle 80s, a little bit more comfortable for Friday night football game on Friday, and then just spotty showers in the mountains as you get back down to 80 by next Saturday. A reminder for the latest forecast, you can go to foxcarolina.com by clicking on the weather tab. You can also get the latest weather blog there too. And of course, there's the Fox Carolina News app. Definitely comes in handy during these active tropical parts of the year. You can also get weather watches and warnings locally sent right to your mobile device.